Meet my guinea pig. His name's Biscuit. Say hi to the camera. Say hi, baby. You're so cute. Hey guys, John here, back for another video. And in this one, I want to give you my top 6 pieces of advice going into your very first powerlifting meet. So let's get started. So good, you're all excited. You've signed up for your first meet. Where do you start? You've ordered all the merch for the organization you're going to be competing with. You've ordered all the stuff necessary that you need to compete in the division that you're competing in. So what's next? So these are the tips that I have for you going into your first meet. So number 6, practice your commands. Always, always, always practice your commands. The biggest reason I see beginner lifters get red light at meets is jumping the gun on either the start command or the rack command on squats and bench press. So squats, you will get a start command when you're fully locked, your knees are fully locked, everything's at full extension, bars on your back, you've walked out, set your stance, they'll tell you to start, and then you'll finish the squat and they'll tell you to rack. Do not rack before they tell you to rack. That's the biggest one. When you hit a big PR, you get excited, you want to put the weight back and jump around, but don't do that because the judge will red light you immediately. So that's one of the main things that you should practice. So get a friend to come watch you do your lifts and have them actually cue you and have them actually use the commands that the judges will use in competition. So for bench press, you'll get a start command, a press command, because you have to actually bring the bar down to your chest, pause on your chest, it has to make a dead stop, and then press off your chest when they say press. So it's a pause bench, and different organizations pause for different lengths, it seems, but generally speaking, the pause is from half a second to a second. Yeah, and then you'll press the weight to the top and they'll tell you to rack. You'll rack from there. Don't jump the gun on that rack command again. And for deadlifts, there is only one command, there is the down command. Do not put the weight down before they tell you to, so full lock, pull your chest through, pull your hips through, lock that weight out, wait for them to tell you down, and then you can just dump the weight. But you have to follow the bar down, so you can't just drop the bar, because they will red light you for just dropping the bar. You have to follow the weight down in a controlled manner and place the weight back on the ground. So number 5 is a big one for me. Do not weight cut if you don't have to. For your first meet, I would actually recommend going into a weight class higher if you're on that threshold. But you don't want to make that big weight cut for your first meet because there's just extra stress added on your body, extra mental stress, because then you're going to have to water cut, you're going to be a little bit dehydrated, you're not going to perform as good as you would if you didn't have to cut weight. And the idea behind your first meet is to gain confidence in the sport. It's not to put up a huge total, it's not to win, it's to really just get your feet wet with the sport and see if you really enjoy competing. And if that's the case, then you can go ahead and weight cut for your next meets. But for the first meet, I would recommend you stay within like a pound or 2 of your weight class. So if you're competing at 75 kilo or 165, I would go in at the most 167, and then you only have 2 pounds to water cut. Or just don't cut at all and go to the 83 kilo or 81 or 83 kilo weight class and sit a little bit below that weight class and just get numbers, because that's all that matters at that point. Number 4, this is something that I wish I had done for my first meet that I really regret not doing. Make a checklist the week before your meet of every single thing that you're going to be needing for that meet. So that includes your belt, your socks, your underwear, your singlet, your wrist wraps, everything that you're going to be using on the platform. But this is the part that I actually didn't do. What food you're going to be bringing, what you're going to be drinking, so Pedialyte or Gatorade and all that stuff, how you're going to get rehydrated after you weigh in if you do water cut, just everything that you're going to be eating, drinking, snacking on, needing like pre-workouts, stuff like that to keep you energized throughout the day Those are really important aspects because that's something that I forgot to do for my first meet, and I was literally having to ask my my friends and my family to run to the store for me, buy me bagels and come back, just because I didn't do the due diligence to prepare myself for being hungry at a 7-hour meet. So number 3 is a huge one for me as a coach as well as a competitor. Do not change your form anytime after you get on the platform, or even that day, or even 2 days before. Just don't change your form when you're getting on the platform. The biggest thing that I've seen people, first-time lifters fail, is they freak out, say on squats. They'll freak out and they'll change their stance width. They'll change even from high bar to low bar. They'll do some crazy stuff. They'll just change too much about their form, and their body doesn't recognize what they're doing, and then they'll fail the lift because they didn't practice that way and they're not strong in those particular positions. Because remember, strength is around certain positions of the kinetic chain. It's not necessarily just that motion. It's you strengthen the movement through repeating the same movement pattern over and over again. So say for example you squat high bar and you never squat low bar, and you squat narrow instead of wide. If you say change to low bar wide stance when you get on the platform, the stabilizer muscles in certain groups won't fire correctly because you're not used to squatting in that manner. So you're going to basically negate all the training you did, go for a different kind of squat, and probably fail because your body is not strong around that particular movement pattern. Number 2, know which flight you're in. Now, I cannot stress this enough. Know which flight you're in because they usually go by weight class and by gender. So they'll usually do women first, start light and get heavier, and then they'll go to the men, and then they'll start ramping up through the weight classes. So always get that sheet of paper that says what flight you're in and the position. Take a picture of that. It's usually hanging on the wall in the warm-up area. Take a picture of that, and then always have a family or friend actually watching the competition that's telling you what position they're at, what flight they're in, stuff like that, so then you're not rushing through your warm-ups. The biggest thing is do not wait and rush through your warm-ups, because they'll tell you so-and-so is on deck, so-and-so is in the hole, then they'll say you're third. Don't wait until you're third to start warming up. You have to give yourself at least 15 to 20 minutes before your actual flight starts to warm up, mobilize, and then hit the platform. Number 1, this one is something that a lot of first-time lifters forget to do. They forget to have fun. The first meet experience is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be your first experience into this particular sport. So don't stress too much about your total. Don't stress if you don't hit that magical 1,000-pound total or whatever you're trying to hit that day, because it's overall about gaining experience, getting your feet wet in this sport. It's not about winning. It's not about coming home with a trophy, even though that's always nice. It's always nice coming home with one of these. But it's not all about these. It's about gaining experience. It's about making yourself a better lifter, a better person through the community. It's not about winning. So the biggest takeaway from this video, if anything, just have fun with the competition process. Go make a lot of friends. Go make a lot of new connections, because that's what it's all about. So if you like this video, leave a comment down below. I really hope you guys found this informative, and I want to see all of you guys competing out there soon, because it is such a fun community. It's one of my favorite things that I do in my pastimes. So I'll see you guys on the platform. Peace.